Exactly. Okay, so I have just jumped on, and this is our last week of holiday Negronis, which is really fun because we've ran through about 4 weeks of lives. Started with Thanksgiving, and now this is week 3 of Christmas. So this is the last one of holiday cocktailing via Instagram Live. And we are going to talk about Negronis. I myself will be partaking in many Negronis this holiday season. That is what we're drinking for Christmas Eve, Christmas. My dad's coming into town this weekend. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of Negronis to be had. So I thought we could kind of cover Negronis, but not just our classic Negroni, gin, sweet vermouth, and Campari. We're going to cover a lot of different variations of the Negroni. I'm all over the place. Like if you could see outside of the screen, it's a mess because there's a lot that we can do today that whether you're popping on or if you're going to just be on for a little bit, everything I do today in class is going to be on the Substack tomorrow. So I will be posting all the Negroni recipes on there. So if you miss out or if you jump in late, don't worry. Also, if you guys have any questions, let me know and I will try to jump in. I have Eric on the side who can jump in too if there are important questions asked. Okay. What I want to start with first is our syrup for this. So we are already going off track of a traditional Negroni of an equal parts Negroni, and I'm adding in simple syrup. In yesterday's video, I made a cranberry cinnamon syrup. So I want to show you how to make that at home because I use cranberry cinnamon simple syrup in almost all of my holiday cocktail recipes. It's delicious. It's so easy to make. So what you're going to want to do first is grab your pot. And somebody just asked a lavender Negroni. The way I would do a lavender Negroni is I would infuse my gin with lavender or I would make a lavender simple syrup. So grab your pot. Remember, simple syrup, equal parts, water, sugar. So that's what I'm going to start with first, sugar. Because instead of doing equal parts with water, I'm going to do an equal parts of sugar and unsweetened cranberry juice. So this is kind of like my hack to the cranberry syrup. I feel like it really brings those flavors out if you don't have fresh cranberries. So equal parts cranberry juice and sugar. I don't know about you guys, but I heard that there was a shorter or a smaller harvest this year for cranberries. So if you're struggling to find fresh cranberries, which I was recently, that's why. So cranberry juice is a great sub for this. It's also just really easy to find. So have that. Now, surprisingly, I don't have cinnamon sticks at this house. I have them at the studio. So here's a great hack. If you don't have cinnamon sticks at home, I'm going to use powdered cinnamon. Now you can measure this about 2 teaspoons or so, but I'm just going to free pour it into there. Because honestly, there's no point in dirtying another dish. So we have that in there. Now this is what you would do normally for the cinnamon syrup I used in yesterday's video and a lot of recipe videos that I've been using. It calls for a cinnamon cranberry syrup. Have that here. But what I'm also going to add in is I have some fresh thyme. So why not add a couple of sprigs of fresh thyme in there as well? The other thing you could add in here is rosemary. You could add in cloves. You can really play with this simple syrup recipe to your liking. So this feels good to me. So I'm going to put this on the heat, medium heat, until the sugar dissolves. And then we'll just let it simmer and then we'll strain it. So we have our syrup. I'm just going to put that on medium heat. Okay, medium heat. So let us move on, okay? One of the things I wanted to do today, because I'm going to be doing this, is creating our Negroni platter base. What that means is get out your Campari, okay? Let me move this. Get your Campari and get your sweet vermouth. Now, I will tell you, a vermouth in a Negroni, no matter how you serve it, will make or break your vermouth or your Negroni. So make sure you have good vermouth. Remember, vermouth is a fortified wine. meaning that it is lower ABV than, say, gin, vodka, you know, your spirits, right? Fortified wine, it's exactly what you would think. Say you're having red wine and you leave it out for a couple of days and you leave it out outside of the fridge. It gets gross. It's nasty. Same thing would go for your vermouth. So this does have higher alcohol than wine, which is why in the fridge, it can last, I'm going to tell you, 3 months in the fridge. After that, it just starts to get funky. But if you want the best tasting Negronis, go out and buy a really good vermouth and use it all right then and there. I'm telling you, same day vermouth, there's nothing like it. Now, I have the Carpano Antica. This is by far my favorite vermouth for Negronis. I think it's delicious. It really hasn't failed me yet. It is expensive. So there are other vermouths out there, but if you want to go fancy, honestly, get the good stuff. This is it for me, in my opinion. So that's what we're going to be using today. Now, I said our base, right, for our Negronis, meaning I'm not adding in our spirit, because in a Negroni, you have gin, but in a Boulevardier, you would have whiskey. You could also do Negroni Sbagliato. You could do an Americano. So when I say we're making a Negroni base, what I mean is we are going to bottle up our Campari and our vermouth. So I have a bottle here, okay? And actually what I'm going to do to make it really festive and fun is I'm going to add in some fresh thyme already in there. You could do this with rosemary. I did rosemary for yesterday's recipe, but because I have time right now and I just harvested it, let's just go for it. So I'm going to just throw these in here. Now, again, I'm going to be drinking this base today because I have an event tonight that I'm going to. So I'm going to be having some today, but then also this weekend. So that's kind of what I'm making this for. So if that gives you an idea of timeline, this is Carpano Antica, and it is my favorite. It is a little bit expensive, that's for sure. Okay, so our sugar has dissolved here, and I'm just going to give this, I'm going to just shush this around, okay? This is our simple syrup from earlier. And I'm actually going to put this on a super, super low simmer for a couple of minutes. I'm probably going to do 4 since I used ground cinnamon and it doesn't really need to infuse as long. Okay, back to our base. Okay, I have my bottle here with thyme, all right? What I'm going to do next is I'm going to measure out a cup of Campari. Now remember, for a lot of Negroni variations and Negronis themselves, it's equal parts, which is one of the reasons why for the holidays, this kind of is a no-brainer. I think it's just really easy to put together. Also, I'm a little worried that this might not all fit, but we'll figure that out when we get there. So we're gonna pour in a cup of Campari. And again, you can use another Italian bitter aperitif. I wouldn't do Aperol. I think it's too sweet, especially because we are going to be adding in some simple syrup here for our holiday twist. But you could add in, oh gosh, Cappelletti's another good one. It's a Campari sub. So don't be scared to try something new out there. Now we're going to do a cup of our sweet vermouth. Okay. And I like this bottle too because you can really like close seal it in here because we are using that fortified wine. So now this is a cup and a cup. Yesterday's video, I did 2 cups and 2 cups because I had A, a bigger bottle, and B, I was making more. So one of the things with this, which is very optional, is I'm going to be adding in a festive syrup. Now, we're making one right now, but that won't be done by the time this live is over. So, and I'm going to turn this off and let that cool completely before straining. But forget that now, okay? That recipe is going to be on Substack. You can get it after tomorrow. What we're going to do here is and Eric's getting water, if you hear water in the background. Nice. I think you can, yeah. That's fine. Okay, so what I'm going to do instead of using that syrup, because that syrup's hot and I want that to fully cool, I want the flavors to mellow, don't want to rush it. So I actually have a homemade vanilla bean syrup. I'm going to put that in there. But again, you can do a festive cranberry syrup. You could do a plain rosemary syrup. We talked about lavender earlier at the beginning of this live. This is kind of where you can make it how you like it. So I'm going to add in a 1/4 cup of this vanilla bean syrup without getting the actual vanilla beans, because one of the things I'm doing with this syrup is I'm really just letting the vanilla beans infuse with the simple syrup, because it's really good. And I'm not going to waste the vanilla beans because they were expensive. Okay, so let's just add this in here. It'll probably bring us to the tippy top, and if we don't make it, that's okay. So not going to force it, but there you have. Wait, yes, okay. There you have your mix. Okay, so let me clean up here, because we have our Campari and vermouth mixture that we just made, right? So now I'm going to show you a couple of Negroni variations. However, before I do that, one of the things I feel like might be fun to do this holiday season is fat washing. So what I've done ahead of time is I have, and let me grab, okay, I put these in a couple of hours ago and they haven't solidified the olive oil yet, but that's okay. So I did a couple of different things, okay? First thing I did was I fat washed my gin with olive oil, okay? Also, yes, you're right. Honestly, you're right. Let's lead by example and put our vermouth, now that we're done with it, in the fridge. Because if you open vermouth and you haven't finished it, it should almost always go in the fridge. Thank you. Okay, so I've done 2 things here, and I will walk you through. We are gonna fat wash. So when I made yesterday's Negronis with the vermouth mix, which is right here, I did 2 ounces of this with 1 ounce of gin. I didn't drink them. I made 2 of these. I didn't drink them, okay? So what I did was I poured the made Negronis, so this is 2 in here, and I put olive oil inside. I put about 2 teaspoons of olive oil or so, and I mixed it together. I let it sit. I let it sit overnight. It's one of the reasons why this hasn't solidified, because I slightly forgot about the timing, because I put this in the freezer at about 2:30. I should have put it in the freezer in the morning. I forgot. But I'm still going to strain this out. So I essentially fat washed my Negroni. The other thing I did was I did the same exact thing, no cocktail inside, but I mixed gin with olive oil as well. So this is fat washing. And essentially what it does is you're mixing the cocktail liquid with a fat. My fat is this. I actually use this olive oil. It's a really nice quality olive oil. I really like it. It tastes really great. I use a quality olive oil, a quality fat. I mixed it with the alcohol, the cocktail. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm infusing the flavor slightly, but mainly it's a mouthfeel texture thing with the fat washing. So you'll get those notes, those flavors, but it'll create like this really smooth consistency, if that makes sense. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. I don't think I did. Okay, again, fat washing is, I would say, olive oil, totally preference. For kind of Italian style cocktails, I prefer olive oil. I think it kind of has that nice flavor. Avocado, you could definitely do for your margaritas. I feel like there's, like, again, you are going to get those flavors. So try the oil, try the fat on its own. You know, just like dip your finger in and taste the fat. See if you like the flavor. Avocado oil would work in here, but again, I really think the olive oil flavors. The other fat I would say that would work really well in here is browned butter or bacon fat. So, okay, I just answered that. Wow, I just answered both of those without even looking. So yes, browning butter. So what you would do is you would put butter on the stovetop and brown it on a low heat. And you would really just let it get warm until you start to see it get brown. You'll smell those like nutty caramelized notes, and that's how you would brown your butter. So I don't know why I'm not doing this ahead of talking, because you guys can see this happening. I'm gonna take my gin, which I took about a cup of gin to, I eyeballed it, you guys. I'm gonna be honest with you, which don't kill me. You guys are like, Jules, this is why we're here. But I mean, good rule of thumb, actually, here's what I did. I took my container and I filled the whole bottom with olive oil, and then I poured my gin in, if that makes sense. So one of the things I'm going to do here, again, I told you, I kind of have stuff everywhere. I am going to strain this out. So I have my cheesecloth here, okay? And I'm going to put this over, no, I'm gonna do it this way, sorry. I'm gonna put my cheesecloth in my fine mesh strainer, okay? Here, let's see. Can you guys see that? There you go. Perfect. And this is really easy. So now all you're gonna do, which I wish this solidified. So if you put this in the morning and you do this in the afternoon, this would be solid, and then you toss the olive oil, or you cook with it, it's up to you. But I still have a good amount of olive oil on here. So I am just gonna strain this. And the reason why I'm doing that is because now I'm done with the fat. I don't need the fat anymore. The fat has done its job. We're done. We are just gonna enjoy this gin, okay? So we're just gonna let that strain. Okay. So I've noticed that there still is a good amount of olive oil in here. So I am going to double this up, and we're just gonna strain again. And again, just strain this. You guys know this. I really do hate cheesecloth. I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I use, I don't know why I hate it so much. I really do. But I'm going to use a damp paper towel. I found that works really, really well. So, again, don't be scared if on the first try there's still oil in there. You are just gonna strain it again. So I'm gonna grab a paper towel, and what I'm gonna do is I got this damp. I'm gonna open this up. I'm gonna fold it once, and then I'm gonna fold it again. I'm gonna line my strainer, and I'm just gonna pour the gin over this. And this way it's really gonna have to strain out for those fat solids, right? Okay. So now while that's going, and you can tell that this is like, I don't know why the cheesecloth method hates me, but it does. So this is gonna take some time just to drain and strain in here. But I wanted to show you what it would look like if you did it with bacon fat, okay? So essentially what you're gonna do, take a measuring cup. Let's do about a half cup of our whiskey. I'm gonna be using monkey shoulder. It's like kind of my favorite right now. It's like so good. Okay. And then I have leftover bacon fat here that I am just going to mix in with my whiskey. And then what I would do, honestly, after this, is I would personally cook with this. So I'm just gonna mix this together. Again, this was solidified here. You could make it warm again and chill it and have it go through, but I'm just gonna mix this together, and I'm gonna let this sit overnight. I'm gonna let this sit 24 hours, and then I'm gonna strain it just like the olive oil. Does that make sense? So essentially you're literally just washing your alcohol with the fat. So now all of that to be said, I think it's time that we make a cocktail. I don't know about you guys, but that feels right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just strain this one more time with my paper towel method. And then we are gonna do the Negroni. So again, just put this on top, grab my gin. Perfect. So that's going, which means it is, I don't know about you guys, but I need a cocktail. So it is finally time. So what we're gonna do is I have a clear glass and hand flavored ice that I just mixed in there. And what I'm gonna add in is 2 ounces of this mixture, right? This is our Campari and our sweet vermouth. And we actually added in that seasonal syrup. So 2 ounces of this mixture right into our glass, okay? And then, this is still going, but I think I can put this underneath. Okay, so then here is my olive oil fat wash gin. We're gonna do 1 ounce of our gin. Okay, right on in there. Because that is how you make a Negroni. So one of the reasons why I love this for a Negroni platter for the holidays is you can literally make that mix and set out your gin, set out your whiskey, set out your tequila or mezcal, and you will have your cocktail. It's perfect. It's delicious. I have no notes. It's a classic Negroni. We love a classic Negroni. So there you have a classic Negroni. We're also going to make 2 more. I'm really sorry about my cat. We will make the same thing, but actually we're making 3 more drinks. Are you guys okay with that? Are you here for a good time? Okay, so hand flavored ice again. That's fine. I'm then gonna add in some whiskey. Because if you add whiskey, it's Boulevardier. And who doesn't love a Boulevardier, okay? So all you would do is pour your ice in there. And one of the reasons why I grabbed a different style glass is because then I know that this is with gin and this is with whiskey. So here we have our gin Negroni. Here we have, again, 2 ounces, our Boulevardier. And again, for a holiday party, if you have this prepped, ready to go, then your guests can make their cocktail. And you don't have to, which is really great. Just have your spirit out there, you know, have a garnish station, right? Like this one, I will add in a sprig of thyme right on in there, okay? And here you have a Boulevardier. I love gin. I love gin. But right now, whiskey is just it for me. So the other thing you could do is you could not add any booze and you can add sparkling water. That would be an Americano. Or you could add in Prosecco if you love House of Dragons or Game of Thrones. Then you'll know that it's just Negroni Sbagliato with Prosecco in it. So really it's just your mix with Prosecco. Now you might be hearing something warming up, and actually before I make a real cocktail, these are all real cocktails, but you know what I mean, like with my shaker, I wanted to show you how we are going to make a hot Negroni. Think a hot toddy, but a Negroni. So this is how I make mine. I don't know if there's rules to this, but this is just kind of how I make my hot Negroni. I take a slice of orange. I put that in there. I'm also going to add in a splash of orange into my glass. And then because this is going to be a hot drink, I'm going to use whiskey. You don't have to. You could use gin. But I don't know, it just kind of gives hot toddy vibes, so I feel like the whiskey is kind of the way to go. But again, up to you. So, you got your shot of whiskey. You got your Negroni mix, right? A little DIY Negroni mix. We're going to add that in there. And then hot water. And this is perfect if you have leftover mix, if you have a cold. This is a hot Negroni. Hot Negroni, yeah. If you've never had a hot Negroni or a hot Boulevardier, please try this. It's so easy. It's so delicious. I will say, I like the orange, but if you want a little bit more roundness, do a little bit of orange and a little bit of lemon. You'll also get those familiar notes of a hot toddy, but this is a hot Negroni. I have to take one more sip. This is delicious. Amazing. Okay. So then, what I wanted to do next, and one of the reasons why this is just fun, this is the last live that I'm doing. I wanted to show you kind of how many cocktails you can make with just this mix to ensure that you can make so many different things for the holidays with only so little ingredients, right? Like, we're not pulling out 500 different cocktails. We're making 5 cocktails with like ingredients. That's the whole point here. So I am going to take out my shaker tin, okay? And I'm going to see how long. No, it's not going to take long for you guys to guess what we're doing. Okay. Also, I've noticed that I've had this for so long that it, like, you know what I mean? It's not flat. Anyway, I'll just use this side. So what we're going to do first, okay? Equal parts sweet vermouth and Campari is in here if you're just jumping on. I also added some festive syrup, just a little bit, to really bring out some of the holiday flavors. And I also added some thyme in here. Again, just trying to make it fun. It's not super serious. And if you have Negroni if you have Negroni snobs in your life, have them make their own and leave the ingredients out for them. You know what I mean? So, okay. Also, I've kind of forgotten what I've done here. This is the gin. Okay, we have the gin here. And we also have this here. I need to finish this off so then I can use the strainer. Because, I don't know if you guys know this, but we're going to take this up a notch. You can make a Negroni, a Boulevardier. You can make a Mezcal Negroni. You can make a hot Negroni. You can make literally any kind of Negroni if you have equal parts Campari, vermouth, and your spirit of choice. You can even do rum Negroni. However, the other thing you can do with this mix is what I'm going to show you, which is our Negroni sour. Okay. Can we help it? No, we can't. So what I'm going to do first, reason I'm looking around because I need a dump cup for my egg. So we are going to get the egg white out of here. Okay. Make sure we're using pasteurized eggs for those who are scared and nervous. You can also save the egg yolks for custard. I know it's the holidays, so that might be nice to save. So we have our egg yolk in here, okay? I don't know why I'm talking like I'm from Jersey. I'm not even close. Okay. Then we are going to do, I'm trying to think what I want to do here. I'm going to do 3/4 of an ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. I'm then going to do a 1/2 ounce of vanilla bean syrup. This is, and maybe it's just me nerding out, but this is why cocktails are so fun, right? Like, mess with the syrup. We made a different syrup over there. Mess with, you know, the citrus. Throw grapefruit in here. I'm then going to add in a splash of orange, kind of like I did with the hot Negroni. I feel like I don't want to get that in there, but that feels good. So, with that being said, we have our egg white, our lemon, our orange. I think we just need to add in our booze. So, here we go. Let's add in 2 ounces of our mix because it is equal parts Campari and vermouth. So 1:1, which means we need an ounce of our spirit. Which spirit do you guys want me to try? If you guys want to comment, I have mezcal, I have the whiskey, I have gin. I could go run and grab rum from my liquor cabinet. First person to comment their spirit of choice, I'll just go grab that. Whiskey. All right. So I have my monkey shoulder here. Oh, you guys, I have mezcal too. Would this be funky? I think it'd be funky. Would a split base be weird? Like an ounce and a... No. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna do mezcal. I was about to get really weird, but this is fine. We'll do mezcal. Okay, so then you're just gonna add in an ounce of your mezcal. Right in there. Again, there are no rules here. I will never judge you. We're just having fun. So I'm going to add in, I have like all my herbs in here. If I can find it, I'd like to add in some rosemary. Oh, I think I'm out. Okay, that's fine. We'll add in a sprig of thyme. I'll add in 2 sprigs of thyme. Is there anything else we want to add in here? I think this is good. So then what we're going to do is we're going to dry shake because we have that egg white. Reason why we dry shake is so we can aerate the cocktail. Because once we're done aerating the cocktail with our dry shake, we are going to incorporate ice to dilute and chill our cocktail. Okay? So let's give it a dry shake. About 20 seconds or so. I'm going to try to clean this up while I shake with one hand. I have so many things out and about right now. Okay. I'm going to need that strainer. Oh God, you guys, I'm stunt flying right now. Okay. I have 2 workstations, so it's a little tough because my other strainer's at the other house. Smells so good. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna dry shake. What I've honestly found, a lot of people will ask me, how do I get a better froth? I've found shaking with a large ice cube really helps. I'm gonna throw in a smaller cube in there. So large cube to aerate, but also you're still gonna chill and you're still gonna dilute your drink. I'll show you after I'm done with this shake because it probably I won't take off the tins as easy as I just did. Okay, so here we go. About 20 seconds. Good rule of thumb is when it's too cold to hold. That's when you know it's ready. So do you see how this is straight, and this is off? What I've found, because I struggled with this, I push to release that tension, and then it just comes right off. Does that make sense? So it was here, and then I almost push with my thumb, and I release, right? So now we are going to double strain because we use fresh citrus, because we shook with ice. We don't want ice shards, and we don't want citrus. We don't want ice shards, and we don't want citrus pulp in there. So let's give this a double strain. She is beautiful. We love a Negroni sour, don't we? We just can't help it. We just can't help it. That slice is ugly. Trying to figure out, also you guys, you can see how this is, you see that? So that froth is just coming up to play. It's just showing off. But again, it's less about me. It's less about me, trust me. It's not because I've been doing this for long enough. It really isn't. It's because when you shake with that large ice cube, it really does help aerate. And of course, I dry shake the cocktail. Those two things, almost always you're gonna get a good froth on your cocktail. But again, you know, I said it was lifting. Look at that, how that's, you know, becoming really frothy, which is great. So the only thing I want to do here, I want to garnish, you guys, but I don't know what to garnish with, and I don't want to open up a whole new citrus. Let me see if I have anything. I don't. Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to garnish with some cinnamon on top. I'm just doing a line because it looks fancy, okay? But there you have the Negroni sour. Oh, I got a big woof of cinnamon. Okay, let me try that again. I won't get cinnamon in my face again. I'm telling you, when you have this mix, your world is your oyster. You can do so many different things. This tastes exactly like I would have made it normally. Oh, the one thing I will say, which I wish I would have thought about it before, and I'll make notes of this in the written recipe. Now that I think about it, I didn't need to add as much syrup as I did when shaking. I added a 1/2 ounce of that vanilla bean syrup. What I should have done is I should have added 1/4. Reason being, we already added some sugar syrup to this because I wanted those festive vibes. So as I'm sipping this, it's skewing slightly sweet. So that's a note I would make for anybody who makes this and also future Joel's self. Back off, either omit it completely or do 1/4 ounce if you do want that sweetness. So again, for those just joining, I made for our Negroni platters, aka DIY holiday Negronis when you're hosting, is all you need to do is make the mix. It's equal parts Campari and it's equal parts vermouth, and then we added in our festive syrup. So the specs for this was a cup of Campari, a cup of sweet vermouth, and 1/4 cup of our syrup. Yesterday's recipe, I did 2 cups Campari, 2 cups sweet vermouth, and then a 1/2 cup of a cranberry cinnamon syrup. Either way, it's up to you. You could make this 3 cups. You could do 4 cups. Just up that sugar syrup. But remember, here's a good rule of thumb. Always, always, always. You can add more, but it's really hard to take away. So whenever you're doing these things, make sure you're doing the lowest amount, because if you want it sweeter, then you can add more syrup. But it's going to be kind of a pain if you added too much sweetener, if that makes sense. So here we have, let me see if I'm gonna break something. No, I won't. No, I won't. I won't put that on me. Okay, let me move this out of the way. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. I said we were doing holiday Negronis. And here we have our holiday Negroni platter. Okay, this is what we made today. We made the Negroni sour. We made a Boulevardier. We made a classic gin Negroni with olive oil infused gin. And we also made a hot Negroni. Other Negroni variations would be a rum Negroni. You could do the Sbagliato. You could do the Americano. All of these Negroni variations I will put on my Substack at Join Jules, so you can have the Negroni holiday bar of your dreams. Now, there's one thing that I've neglected and haven't finished, which is rude, is the olive oil fat washed Negroni from yesterday. So that is the last thing that I'm gonna do on today's last holiday live. This is the last one I'm doing. I think these were kind of fun though, right? My sister asked me recently, she's like, why are you doing these again? And I was like, I don't know. I just think it's kind of fun. It's been fun to do these cocktail classes. Cocktail classes, right? Virtual. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, you guys, I have stuff everywhere. So I separated these. These need to go together. This is the gin. Because I'm gonna use this. We're gonna bottle this up. Store this normally. It's just olive oil infused gin. Store it normally. Okay, I'm going to clean out my strainer because we are going to do one more strain situation, which I'm sorry, I'm here, just 2 seconds. All right, damp cloth here. I have my vessel underneath here. Okay. I have my strainer here. And I have my damp paper towel here. Because we are going to strain out the olive oil from our cocktail. And then, not only did we batch our Negronis, but we also fat washed them in olive oil. So there are so many things you can do with just the mix of Negronis. And honestly, there's more even still to be had. I would do a rum Negroni sour. I think what I'm doing for the holiday party that my sister's hosting on Sunday is I think I'm just going to leave out. I'm going to make an even bigger batch of this. And I'm going to just leave it out. So I think a lot of people like Americanos right now, which is so equal parts. So 1 ounce Campari, 1 ounce vermouth, and then 1 ounce of soda water. So I think I'm just going to do a big batch of this. A gravy separator. Somebody asked, could you use a gravy separator? What is that? I have not the slightest clue of what that is. But I love crazy ideas, and I would say yes. Okay, so shoot, I'm gonna pick you up. There's no more cocktail in this. This is just all of the olive oil. So what I'm gonna do, I'm so messy, is I'm going to dump this, get a new paper towel, and strain the rest of it out. That's my plan. So we're tossing this. I'm speaking to it. We're tossing it. It's gonna fall. It's gonna fall. I'm grabbing a new paper towel that's damp. Okay. Because now majority of that olive oil is out of here. But again, still, I mean, not everybody likes to just sip on olive oil, right? So we're gonna make sure that all of the olive oil, and I can see a lot of it here too. So that's why we always make sure that we double strain it to the best of our abilities. But you guys, I'm sorry, but like, what a sick move for your family to come over and you say, oh, I've made an olive oil fat washed gin. Please help yourself with the Negroni mix that I've made you. Oh, and I've pre-batched gin Negronis already that have been fat washed in olive oil or browned butter or, and you guys, it's so easy, but you would sound so bougie. And I love that for us. So good idea, bad idea, up to you if you guys want to do this, but this is, I'm like having a Negroni Christmas for sure. But I feel like that's every year. I'm just a Negroni girl, okay? But the fun thing is you can really switch this out. I know a lot of people don't like gin, so you can switch this out for your whiskey, your rum. Rum's really great in Negronis as well. So, you guys, I guess there's only one thing to do. It's to drink the, I almost said clarified. It would be to drink our olive oil fat washed gin Negroni. Okay. Also, I feel like I'm missing out. Are there any questions happening that I'm not seeing? I feel like there are. I think somebody, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you. If you want to ask it again, I will answer because you have my attention now. But somebody just asked, wait, I just lost the question. Okay, hold on. Sorry, God, you guys, it's hard to do. Oh, somebody asked a paper filter instead of the paper towel. Absolutely, coffee filter works great. I don't have any. I have an espresso machine, so I never make filtered coffee. Okay, so this is actually from our place. They sell these. They're called the party cubes. They're darling. I love them. These are actually, I forget their name, but this is from a set of 2 from Lulu in Georgia. And then actually this is IKEA. This is an IKEA clear coffee glass. This also, I believe, is Whiskey Craft. Yeah. Okay, you guys. Boom. We have our olive oil, fat washed Negroni. And all you would do is bottle this up, put it in a fancy decanter, and then have your guests pour it over a cube of ice, as much as they want. I mean, I've doubled this, but no, that's another one. And then I would still give it a little mixy. So you just get a little bit of dilution. You don't want it to be super hot. And when I mean hot, you don't want it to be too spirit forward. But this is now an olive oil, fat washed Negroni. And honestly, this was the classic. Okay, you guys. Now, well, I guess I used the... Okay, anyway. This Negroni, I only used the olive oil gin. Nothing else had olive oil in it. For this, I used olive oil for the whole thing. Honestly, I like the olive oil fat wash gin more than the whole cocktail fat wash because you really get the flavors of also the sweet vermouth and the Campari, but then you have that really nice compelling element of the gin that has been fat washed, where the whole cocktail being fat washed, you have to love olive oil because you get a lot of it. So fun to experiment with both, but if you had to pick one, I would just fat wash your gin. Then you can also use the gin for other cocktails over fat washing the whole cocktail. So that's my 2 cents. I like this one. I'm not going to drink all these, I swear. It's Wednesday. Okay. So there you have 5 Negronis. 5 Negronis for our Negroni platter for the holidays. I want to see... Okay, so I'm getting a couple of questions in because I have both going. I have TikTok and I have Instagram. Have you infused your own gin before? Where do I do personal classes? And what was the other? What is fat washing? Okay. Do I do personal classes? I do pop-ups sometimes. I just did a class with Cutwater recently, which was really, really fun. Usually local here in San Diego, but I am starting to do more in person with some brands, which has been fun. But I might continue on doing Instagram lives in the future, just kind of depending. I don't know if you guys like these. So it's kind of more, I like doing these I know the people who are on really like cocktails. But yeah, so still TBD on the online stuff, but I'm having a lot of fun. So if we'll chat about it in the broadcast channel, how about that? And we can kind of vote on it. Somebody asked about fat washing. Fat washing is essentially taking a fat, olive oil, bacon fat, brown butter, avocado oil, coconut oil. Coconut oil would be really good in this too, by the way. Also, my cat is very close to jumping up here. Fat washing is essentially taking those fats and mixing it with your spirit or a cocktail. And what you're doing is you're incorporating the fat's flavor with the spirit for a slight change in taste, but also a change in texture. So it almost rounds out the spirit a little bit more, makes it a little bit more of a silky mouthfeel. And my cat is jumping in. I am so sorry. But I think that was the question. Were there any other questions? Somebody asked favorite bar in San Diego, and I have to be so strong on this opinion because I believe it. It's the Fishery in Pacific Beach. It's a restaurant. Their bar program is fantastic. So if you're ever in San Diego, please check out the Fishery Cocktails, and you would probably see me there hanging out with Eddie, who runs the bar program there at the bar. So that's my favorite. Any other questions? This one went late, you guys. I'm sorry if I'm rambling on. 5 cocktails. We'll do that to you. Any other questions before I jump off? Again, all of these recipes are going to be on my Substack at Join Jules. We will go through the Negroni mix. I will go through fat washing, and I will go through all 5 recipes that we did today. They will all be written out so you can print them out, and you can share them with your friends and family this holiday season. And then, yes, somebody asked if I'm saving these lives. The whole live, which this is going to be 52 minutes. I'm so sorry, you guys, but this whole live is going to be up on that Substack. So I posted it as a video. This whole video is on there, and then underneath that, we'll have all the written stuff too. So if you want to tune in or have somebody tune in to learn more, please do. But I also know that I ramble and talk too much, so the written recipes will be on there as well. But this is it for me. I have an event to go to tonight. I'm going to the Lion's Share. They're having an anniversary party, so I need to cool it on the cocktails before I go and have more cocktails. But yeah, you guys, this is the last holiday live that I'm doing. Again, we'll chat about it in the Instagram broadcast channel, kind of how we want to move forward. If we want to continue these lives, I'm going to be doing Dry January come January. So maybe that could be fun to kind of hop on and talk about things like that. But thank you guys. Good luck hosting. I still have one more batch cocktail recipe coming out. That's going to come out tomorrow. So look out for that. It's kind of like a Moscow Mule batched riff, super easy, kind of the last minute batch that looks really nice and elevated. And then I actually have a couple of sponsored posts that are coming out. So if you guys can like and engage with those, I would really appreciate it. I also did all the recipes, and I have to say they're fantastic. They're so good, and I'm so excited to kind of share those with you. There is one from the Cutwater class that I'm posting on Monday that is probably my favorite to date this year for holiday cocktails. Super dessert cocktail. It's fantastic. So look out. There's still recipes coming, but till then, have a great holiday. Enjoy. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. You can go to my new website, joinjules.com. You can send me an email, all of the things. I am here for you. Yeah, thank you guys for being here, and cheers. Okay, bye guys.